Good morning. Today we're going to talk about ratios and vocabulary. This comes from a lesson designed by Stephanie Conklin. Our warm-up. Do I understand ratio language? Write a ratio in 3 ways, comparing the number of ducks to the number of pigs. Remember to simplify your answer. So we see 4 ducks and 2 pigs. So we're kind of thinking if we have to simplify it though, how many ducks for each pig? 2 ducks for 1 pig. This is written as a fraction. That's one way. 2 ducks to 1 pig. That's written with the word 2. That's a second way. And 2 ducks, 1 pig with a colon. That's a third way of writing it. We fill in the blank. For every 2 ducks, there is 1 pig. So the 3 ways again of writing our ratio are with a fraction, the word 2, and a colon. We're going to practice writing ratios by watching a video on the world. This video pretends there is a village of 100 people who equally represent every country and language in the world. Let's watch If the World Were a Village.
If the whole world were a village of 100 people, 61 would come from Asia. Asia includes countries like China, Japan, India, Russia, Pakistan, and many others. 13 people in our village are from all of Africa. Only 5 in our village of 100 come from North America. Eight people come from Central and South America. And 12 people come from Europe. Oh yes, the 100th person in our village comes from Oceania, which is Australia, New Zealand, and all the other beautiful islands of the South Pacific. If the whole world were a village of 100 people, more than half would speak one of 8 languages. How do you say hello, Wayne?
Ni hao ma.
22 people speak a Chinese dialect, like Wei.
Ni hao.
9 people in our village speak English, like Jason.
Ni hao. Oh, hello. Hello.
Fu is one of 8 people who speak Hindi.
Namaste. Hola.
Miguel is one of 7 people in our village who speak Spanish. 4 people speak Bengali, like Sarath.
Aije.
And 4 others speak Arabic, like Fatima.
Ahlan.
There are 3 people who speak Lina's language, Russian.
Здравствуйте.
And 3 people who speak Portuguese, like Fernando.
Bom dia.
So, if you could speak these 8 languages, Chinese,
Ni hao ma.
English,
Hello.
Hindi,
Namaste.
Spanish,
Hola.
Bengali,
Aije.
Arabic,
Ahlan.
Russian,
Здравствуйте.
and Portuguese,
Bom dia.
you could say hello to over half the people in our village. Wouldn't that be something?
So it goes into using the language for every 100 people in the world. For every 100 people, there are 61 people from Asia. For every 100 people, there are 13 from Africa. For every 100 people, there are 5 from North America. For every 100 people, there are 8 from Central and South America. For every 100, there are 12 people from Europe. For every 100, there's 1 person from Oceania. 22 out of 100 people speak Chinese. 9 out of 100 speak English. 8 out of 100 speak Hindi, 7 out of 100 speak Spanish, 4 out of 100 speak Bengali, 4 out of 100 speak Arabic, 3 out of 100 speak Russian, and 3 out of 100 speak Portuguese. So we're going to answer the question together. How can we write a ratio using words? Our example is for every 100 people in the village, there are 61 people from China. It's super important term for writing ratios is for every. It can be used to replace the fraction bar, colon, or word to in a ratio. For each can also be used to replace the fraction bar, colon, or word to in a ratio. For every and for each can be used to replace the word fraction bar, colon, or word to in a ratio. So our example number 1, we're going to write a ratio in words comparing beaks to wings for an eagle. Step 1, write the ratio, beaks to wings. 1 beak, 2 wings. Now we're going to write this ratio in words. An eagle has 1 beak for every 2 wings. We can also say an eagle has 2 wings for each beak. What's the difference between using for every and for each? You can pause right here and think about it for a moment. For every is used for plural things like more than 1 wing. That's plural, so 2 wings for every 2 wings. And for each is used for singular. There's 1 beak, so it's for each beak. We can also start sentences with for every. Let's try. Example number 2, in a class election, Juan received 20 votes and Kevin received 8 votes. Write a ratio in words comparing Juan and Kevin's votes. Step 1, write the ratio of Juan's votes to Kevin's votes. New step. Step 2, simplify the ratio. And step 3, write this ratio in words. So first, we would write a ratio of Juan's votes to Kevin's votes. 20 Juan's votes to 8 Kevin's votes. But now we have to go into step 2, simplifying the ratio. I take that 20 Juan's votes to 8 Kevin's votes, and I divide both of them by 4. You have to divide them by their greatest common factor, which in this case it is 4. That'll leave you with the simplest form. It's often easier, though, to put the ratio in fraction format than prime factor, as it's shown in this video.
In a previous video, we learned all about factoring whole numbers. And now we're going to learn how factoring can help us when working with fractions. We're going to learn how to simplify fractions. Simplifying a fraction means rewriting the fraction using the smallest top and bottom numbers we can without changing the value of the fraction. To help us understand what simplifying a fraction really means, let's take a look at the simplest fraction I can think of, 1/2. Now, this is already as simple as it can possibly be, so let's go the other way and complicate it by dividing our rectangle here up into more parts. The amount of our rectangle that's shaded is still the same, but now the numbers for our fraction are 3/6. The numbers are bigger because our rectangle is now divided into more parts. The fraction we have now, 3/6, is equivalent to our original fraction, 1/2. That means they have the same value. They represent the same amount. So what if someone gives you the fraction 3/6, like 3/6 of a candy bar? Well, we know from our picture that that means they're really giving you 1/2. But how can we show that using math and not pictures? Well, that's where factoring comes in. Let's take our complicated fraction, 3/6, and factor both the top and bottom numbers. Now, the bottom number 6 can be factored into 2 times 3. The top number, 3, is a prime number. Its only factors are 1 and itself. So we can write that as 1 times 3. There, we've rewritten our fraction using factoring, and now it kind of looks like 2 fractions being multiplied together. 1/2 times 3/3. Of course, 3/3 is what I like to call a whole fraction, since its value is equal to 1. Now here's the interesting part. Since 3/3 equals 1, and multiplying by 1 has no effect on a number, we can just get rid of that 3/3. Basically, the 3 on the top and the 3 on the bottom cancel each other out. And once they're gone, we're left with the fraction 1/2. So that means that the fraction 3/6 simplifies to 1/2. Another way of thinking about it is that we're trying to find any whole fractions that are hiding in the fraction we're trying to simplify. And if we find any, we can just get rid of them, and the fraction we're left with is simpler than the one we started with.
So we talked about simplifying the ratio. When we simplify 20 Juan's votes to 8 Kevin's votes, we get 5 Juan votes to 2 Kevin's votes. And when we write it in ratio, our ratio in words, we get for every 5 votes that Juan received, Kevin received 2 votes. So now you can try it in your own notes. This is example number 3. Kaylee buys 2 posters that are the same size. She wants to hang up each poster using the following push pins. Count them out. Write a sentence for each, using for each to answer the question. How many push pins should she use for each poster? So take a moment, pause, and write that down. Step 1, write a ratio of push pins to posters. Step 2, simplify the ratio. And step 3, write the ratio in words. So first we would write 8 push pins to posters. And there's our push pins. And we can simplify it. 4 push pins for 1 poster. Now we can write it in words. Kaylee needs 4 push pins for each poster. Or for each poster, Kaylee needs 4 push pins. In summary, we can use the phrase for every or for each to help us write ratios as sentences. So kind of discuss maybe with someone in your house, maybe with someone in class. Calvin told his friend that his cat has 2 tails for every 1 ear. Is he right? Why or why not? Push pause, have a quick discussion. A, Calvin is wrong. He should have said that his cat has 2 ears for every 1 tail. If Calvin was right, then he has a cat with 1 ear and 2 tails. Eek! All right, go to your assignment for today. You can still ask questions and get help from the teacher. Make sure to go back to class at your scheduled time.